the library a little more often. It was kind of rainy this morning, and then when I was coming back from the Hub and Kroger, I had too many bags to wander into the library. They're cracking down on that because the homeless are bringing bed bugs in if they let them bring in too many bags. So I decided just to skip it instead of have that conversation. That's just my groceries. Yeah, well, never mind. Yeah, I had Gramps actually had a pretty good pegboard for learning herbal information, but the herbalist, the main herbalist that we were dealing with, was in a situation where people understood, there's resistance in all groups, including the Pentecostals, and so if he was giving out this kind of information, it would have been known. And but he's already transitioning to his next gig, which is probably why he's come out of the woodwork. And probably Jason's going to need another place to live. And whenever they press restart on people in our family with certain traits, we kind of handle depression, kind of in a bit of a nympho kind of way, and that eventually goes away. But it's kind of a difficult thing to work through, and Gramps was going to be kind of the kind of person that this guy was never going to talk to, and so I've been picking up this information, and Gramps is going to do other kinds of stuff. But he's not the only one who has this trait that I've seen around here. And, people do get kicked out of Africa. Our family was the first ever to get kicked out of Africa, maybe well over 1 million years ago. But we went back quite a few times and left things behind, and there's resonations and stuff that are non-compatible. But all these groups all these kinds of people are still good for interfacing. You have to leave the country for 1.5 years after a student visa before you can apply for another, or come back in on a different kind of visa. But if you've got good credentials and stuff, and a job lined up, it's typically not that hard after that. Most of my classmates from my master's degree program, all of them that wanted to do that, did that. They'd go like up to Canada, and you don't even have to be legal, but I recommend it's better if you stay legal, keep your paperwork right, and get a job somewhere. And it doesn't have to be Canada. It doesn't have to be where you're from. It just has to be outside of the U.S. for 18 months. And then usually if you've got a degree and a job lined up and stuff like that, you can get back in the country pretty easy, legally. Don't try to stay illegally. I've seen other people do that. The girl that I did my lab on stayed illegally. And she did not end up working at Starbucks. So, it's a completely different world here if you don't really have paperwork. If you really have paperwork, there's all kinds of stuff you could do. You better be a criminal already if you plan on staying here illegally. Because, and I have some relatives that are kind of like that. But they are not sympathetic to people who gave up the opportunity to be here legally.